Alright, check this out. New Switchbox. New to me. Got another one. My buddy Dan hooked me up, so now I can move forward. Test it out good. And he threw in a whole motor for me. It's pretty cool. It's sort of been set for about 15 years. So that's pretty cool, I think. Anyway, yeah, looks great too. These are the leads are messed up stuff, but it's in good shape. This is a short shaft. Yeah, so I don't know, anybody looking for a short shaft lower unit, I got one. But it needs to be cleaned up and all that. Taken and looked over, inspected. I got a lot of extra parts off of this one. It probably turns, maybe. I think he said it started to turn. If not, it doesn't matter, because I'm just really wanted it for the Switchbox, but he just wanted it out of his yard, so I went ahead and took it because it's got a, you know, lots of everything, pretty much. You know, solenoid's gonna be bad, but that's normal. You know, who knows if the starter is any good or not, but you can check it out. It's got a coil, you know, distributor. It's pretty much good to go. I might keep the power head, get rid of the other stuff. It's a couple things, you know, and that's obviously seized. So it's awesome, man. Got a new Switchbox. I'm pretty happy about that. Alright, thought I'd share that with you. Alright, this guy was seized, and I just took the spark plugs out, took a bunch of parts off of it. I took the distributor off, and I guess you can't really see very well. This is better, huh? Anyway, yeah, just put some Marvel mystery oil down in the spark plugs and let it sit for a little while. Really didn't take too long, and then I was able to you know, get it to move. So I poured some more down in there. I checked, and like the number 1 and the 4 definitely had pretty decent compression just with my finger over the hole. 2 and 3 not so much. So, you know, I don't know, I'm gonna let that sit, because maybe a ring is still kind of seized, some of the rings. Maybe that'll loosen it up over a week or so. Rebuilt this distributor, new wiring. The old wiring was just shot, didn't take too long. Got to make a gasket, because I don't have a gasket for this on this side, but it's got a good rotor cap and plate. So all that looks really good. I'm gonna clean it up. Yeah, so back up. Yeah, it's got a good cap, and a rotor is really good, and so the plates all are really nice. So that should clean up really good. Spark plug wires, just check them. Got to fix one of this end was shot. I've got another end that goes on this, so I'm going to clean up this all really good, and yeah, that'll go back together. It shouldn't take too long. And then took the starter off. Solenoid, definitely needs solenoid, but yeah, the lower unit doesn't seem to be seized or anything. You know, I could take, you know, just to check it out, see if it'll fire. If it won't pee, then, you know, that's a whole nother can of worms, because you got to take the jacket off and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, just thought I would shoot that real quick and just get it, you know, along with all my everything else. So, yeah, everything's looking good. Alright, what's going on? Mercury Switchbox. See where I dug into this, see if I could open it up, because I know it's bad. So I thought I'd show, I don't know, you know, something you can check on a bad Switchbox versus a good Switchbox. So, you know, coming from your distributor, you got these 3 inputs. And they did a weird, I don't know, kind of makes sense, but it kind of doesn't. But red, that's going to, coming from the distributor, inside the distributor, there's 2 coils, right? And those 2 coils are what I believe to be like a high and low coil. So my theory is, you know, 2 of them are common. So like the negative side of the coil, so both of them are going to come back to blue. And then either this one or this one is high speed. And whether they're the red or the green coil, that's where I mean, why didn't they make one red and like one white? That way, even though it's a, like say a white wire, you would know for positive, like, okay, this comes back to here. But anyway, I digress. I guess it's something that I don't know, and I haven't figured that one out yet. And then obviously this green goes to your coil, you know, for your spark plugs, and then this is ground. There's a little screw that goes there, and that's ground. And then other than that, there's nothing there. It's sealed. You can't get in here to find out, okay, diodes. I'm guessing it's probably a couple of diodes, a capacitor, maybe even a couple of resistors to ground. Well, one thing you can do is if you got a meter, you know, just like a digital meter, and hopefully if you got the continuity check, and we could do it with ohms as well. But then just taking, and you know, this is, the case is obviously ground, because I've figured that much out. And if I take, see if I can do this with one hand, see it's ground, that's got continuity. But then touch each one of your input leads. See there, it's grounded. And then this one, I don't have anything. So it's really hard to do with one hand, but you saw that, hopefully. See if I can hold this again. probably not enough. Yeah. So then I'm gonna touch each one. And I got a short there to ground. Now, if it was an open, or say going into the diode, the line cracked, going into the diode, the line broke, or the trace broke, and it was open, so the path of the well, whatever, the signal, voltage, some kind of sine wave, whatever. If it was broken and it was open, then the signal couldn't pass through, and you get nothing anyway. But the chances of it being broken, sealed up like that, is pretty. I'm not saying it would never happen, but most likely not. If it's shorted to ground, where, say, the diode was just in an open loop, or something shorted to the ground, like, I don't know, it would be, anyway. So then these would show that ground. So on a blue, right, from your key and on your ignition switch, it's like on the book it shows the D and E is off. So when you put it in the off position, then you're allowing the ground to come. The ground is derived from the battery, the ground source, goes up through the key. If it's in the off position, it goes to D and E, usually on your your connector, and that's allowing the ground to pass through, come back, and it's going to connect to here. So that's what stops the motor, right? There is no power from, say, 12 volt that connects to this switch box. It's all derived from those two coils that are in the distributor, right? Which I have. I'm going to turn off my multimeter, but I've got one over here that I worked on. So, sorry, make sure I can see my shot, but see the red and the green coil, or in this case it looks black, but it really is green. It's probably the light. And then, coming out of there, you've got three wires. Now I just put what I had, so I've got green really is my blue, and then I got my red and my white. Alright, now I don't know, is the red coil, is it on that side or is it on this side, and then how is it connected? Some questions that I don't know, and I looked up some wiring diagrams and things, and I would have to go back and look at that. I'm sure that this is wired correctly. Probably looked at a wiring diagram, but like I said, you can generate a voltage coming out of here, and I did in one video where basically I hooked up my drill to here to turn it, And then I just took some voltage readings off of my outputs of those coils. So the coil, how does it work? Well, here's your distributor shaft. It's driven by a belt, and inside here, which you can't see because this plate is on there, right? This plate is on it. You can't see it. Should probably take the plate off so you can see it. But there's just a magnet that goes around here, right? And it induces a voltage into these coils, and it does it at the same time. And I guess the circuit that's inside the switch box is I'm not sure how it works, because essentially you're turning on, you know, the coil that delivers the higher voltage to your distributor. And then on the distributor, you know, there's a cap and a rotor that's down here, and as it turns, you know, and hits a, say, you know, number 1 spark plug, then it allows that voltage to pass down the spark plug and fire the spark plug. So it's two separate things. This really is acting like a, what we call a stator today. You know, well, really, the coils that are on top of the engine are just providing, you know, like an alternator that goes back, you know, to the battery. So then I just bought this 50. You know, my original plan was I need a switch box because both my switch boxes are bad. So I'm trying to locate a switch box, and so there's a switch box. You know, it's a little dark in here, but you'll get the idea. So if I do the same thing here, put my meter, and then, you know, let's go ground for, you know, over. I could do it on the switch box just like I did. See if I can hold this, and then touch my, so see, we got ground. And then if I touch here, or touch here, or touch here, I'm not in an open circuit, you know, or shorted circuit, I'm sorry. You know, nothing shorted to ground, but I still got ground. So one way to check, now we don't know what the voltage is coming out of that switch box going to the coil. And again, here's our green wire. So yeah, all I did was I touched, you know, ground and my 3 connections. But here's what I want to show is, you know, you got the green wire coming out, and it goes to the switch box. Show it, yep. See, it goes to the switch box, and then ground is just that little screw, which is kind of way back here. See it on, can you see it on the bottom there? Can't know if you can see it. But yeah, there's just a little, maybe that's better, wires in the way. There's a little screw, and that's ground to the coil. So the coil just has ground, and then your hot or green. And then, like I said, it fires. See, I had an old coil too, you know. And that, anyway, that fires out of there, and then that goes, you know, over to your cap. And then I have, you know, it's 2 plates, and then I got a rotor. So that's how that's one way to check the switch box. You know, you can hook this Switchbox up, and then I could drive the distributor, and I could even check the coil and see if it's firing. You know, like get a spark plug and just kind of put it close to this, which would be ground, say. And yeah, but I could wire it up and I could check one. But I know these are both of those switch boxes that I have for the one that I rebuilt, or they're open. One of them was fire, and I suspect it was low fire, like the switch box just wasn't putting out enough, you know. And I think that you know, so I got 2 bad switch boxes. I did the same thing with this one. I checked it, and it was the same situation where something was shorted to ground, and maybe a diode went bad. Like I said, we don't know what's inside of those switch boxes, so I'm sure that you cannot see this by the way I'm having to hold this, but you know, like, that's ground. See? Open. None of these should be like that. Now, to check these lines, you should need to take them off. So, you know, because what if it's grounded in the distributor? Because see, you still got so a good way to check that too, you know, is to take these off and then do your test. Because this could, I mean, say I messed up, or say you were gonna buy one of these and you wanted to just do a quick check to see if your switch box is working. You know, the other way to check, the easiest way to check, really honestly, like if you're on site, you want to just buy a sorry, if you wanted to just buy a motor and the guy was like, oh, it's all working, you know, well, just get a battery and then, you know, unplug your coil, take maybe a couple of spark plugs with you, and then, you know, just lay them next to the cowling so that you can see spark, and, you know, just use your jumper cables to turn the starter over. It's great because you can check the starter, solenoid. Well, you really don't need the solenoid, but you could you know, and you get a check to see if it's got spark. Otherwise, you know, you just gotta guess, you know, and hope that it's okay. But I don't know where I'm going with this. I just wanted to, you know, it's like ideas about, okay, if I pull up and I'm looking at a motor, you know, I kind of want to know if it's got spark. I kind of want to know what the compression is, but, you know, it's really going to be dependent on the guy you're talking to, you know. Most people, I think, are pretty, you know, open to giving you information if they're trying to sell it. You're like, okay, this is what's wrong with it, you know. They're going to want what they want, and that it's just the way that is. But yeah, you can just hook up a spark plug and just kind of, these are the ones, you know, it's just got, doesn't have a, you know, a lead, or what do they call it, anode, I forget. But yeah, you just stick it next to the cowling, and then turn that dude over and see if you have any blue spark. Then you know it's working. The other thing is kind of gives you a real good indication of how much spark. Because if it jumps a gap on that next to your cowling, I mean, it's gonna, it's definitely gonna fire. And if you got real low blue spark, then you got some kind of issue. These old motors, they got more to go wrong than, say, the 80s version of the Mercury motors, because they went to stator electronic. Stator, trigger stator. To back up, honestly, what is the proper terminology there? You could say that this motor has a stator, or I would call it an alternator, because it's giving you 12 volts, generating 12 volts back to charge your battery, right? And then inside the distributor is the trigger, because it's the two coils. So it's high and low, and it's sending that back to the switch box. What's going on with the switch box? I really don't know. I don't know if it generates like a higher voltage to the coil, right? So you get more spark at higher voltage, or or is it's just delivering the same amount of spark? Maybe that's the lightning they talk about. Thunderbolt lightning, injection. I don't know. It's a mystery to me. I've been messing with them for a while now, and I'm still like, I'm not sure what the heck is going on in there. If you could open up that switch box, if you could that's what I was thinking about doing, was trying to pop all that stuff out of there, and see what the circuitry is, but it's not possible. I would love to, I know CDI made these, but they stopped making them. It would be great if somebody could give you, the diagram for that, because you could make your own switch box if you knew what the wiring diagram was. It wouldn't be hard. You'd have to know all the values. Anyway, it's kind of a bummer, because once you can't find those switch boxes, these motors are dead and these motors are great. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. I've got that motor that I just bought. I'm not robbing Peter to pay Paul. But just even to check this engine, I don't want to do that. I'd rather find a good switch box that's working, that I know is a good switch box, and then work my way back. Get it running, be done with it. This became kind of the weirdest, best video for me personally, because it wasn't like, bam, put it back together, it's running, everything's great. It's been a challenge, but I don't know. I'm here to learn. I'm here to figure it out. Thanks for watching my videos. Please like, subscribe, comment. There's a bell notification. click that, and then you'll know when I got other videos coming out. You know, I'm just doing this for fun. I'm not doing it to make money. And it's for me to document everything that I've done, you know, or how I do it. And people comment, well, he's not a mechanic. I never claimed to be a mechanic. I just like working on them. So for me, it's a hobby. If I make a little cash on it, I sell a motor here and there, great. You know, but I don't have a business that's all I do. Now, it'd be fun and it'd be awesome to own my own marine business or to be in a partnership with somebody. But, you know, I even thought about doing a mobile thing just to make a little extra cash. But I'm not claiming to be an expert at this old stuff. The new stuff is a lot easier, honestly, in a lot of regard. But the old stuff is a lot harder to figure out because of the way it was designed. You know, the newer motors that, you know, have coil packs and all that, I mean, that's not hard to figure out how to figure that stuff out, whether it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Whereas this stuff is, you know, the way it was designed is kind of mysterious in some regards, because there's a lot more information on the newer stuff too. So, anyway, talk to you guys soon.
I used to hear them talking, the stories they tell, hanging out and sitting around in heartbreak hell. I could see that this ain't no place for me. And then my story